Good evening and welcome to Muse on the News. I am Lisa.
I'm Kel.
I'm Molly.
And I'm Jana.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. This is our topical news show. So anybody who hasn't seen it before, we each bring a news story and we have a little bit of a chinwag about it. So before we do that, how are you girls? Are you well? Have you had a good week?
We're good. A little bit chilly tonight and a little bit yawny, long day, but a good week. Good, nice and bright and sunny. How are you both?
Recovering from the fact that we've had snow this week. I mean, what is that all about? April.
Yeah, it's weird. April's a dodgy month, isn't it? You can have a bit of everything in one day.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, me neither.
Later in April, and I can remember snow on my birthday. So, it's not that we've had snow.
Well, I'm not a baby, so it's always rubbish on my birthday. So
at least it goes quickly in April, doesn't it? As quick as it comes, it goes again. So
yeah, it snowed for hours, didn't it? Like when you got up at 6 o'clock, it was snowing, and it was still snowing here at 9:30, 9:45, and then I looked out the window at 10:15, and it was all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We were going to have a picnic today with the kids as well.
Yeah. Didn't work.
Well, that's why it snowed then.
Yeah.
I know. Why can't it snow in like July when we plan a picnic and then we have to go through with it?
So tomorrow we're planning on building igloos.
Nicely done.
Weather, darling.
Oh, got to try. Okay. So, well, look, it's been another interesting week, and probably the story that has dominated the headlines has been the passing of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh. Massive loss for the royal family. And to discuss this story, we've actually got a couple of guests, a familiar face. One is a familiar face anyway, regular on our show, Alasdair Pinkerton. Nice to have you. And his lovely, charming wife, Philippa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We often talk about you, when we've got Alasdair on. I always say, and his lovely wife is just so nice. And here she is. People can use her.
I just hang out in the background supporting.
Oh, you actually are the most supportive wife ever.
Yes. Oh, lucky man.
I am. I'm very lucky, Jana. I'm
very lucky.
Yeah, and Philippa agrees.
Oh. So you no longer have pink hair, Al? Like I really like your pink hair.
I was on it. I think my hair was pink, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was.
Well, you'll be glad to know that it was just temporary. So it washed out after a good few washes, but I had to keep it in the end for 25 days. So £2,500 was raised in the end.
Fantastic.
That's incredible.
That's a good effort.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I reapplied it, I think, three times.
Yeah.
I was getting quite good at the old hair by the end.
You could have done the eyebrows as well,
I should have, shouldn't I? I really should have.
That's
going to do a comedy goatee and then you can have a whole lot.
Next time we have
It's
to.
going to be a next time.
Maybe you can go yellow next time.
Will there be a next time? If the inducement is high enough, if the moral pressure is put on, I might be persuaded.
Excellent. It doesn't even matter what cause it is at this point. I think people just want you to have hilarious hair.
Yeah.
Including one of the biggest sponsors, Michael Gove.
Michael Gove very generously gave me £100 to keep it one extra day. So all credit to him. That was a very generous thing to do.
Was it really him?
Well, we think so. There were actually 2 donations from people claiming to be Michael Gove. One was for £2. and one was for £100. So I haven't had official confirmation that it's him, but I'm pretty sure it must be.
I think it was. I have faith that was. Right, listen, should we share this story?
Yes. What we'll do is we'll go through this article that we've chosen, and I think this article really shows the best side of the Duke of Edinburgh. I know he can at times be a controversial figure. But I don't think any of us could say that he was a man without character. So let's go back up here. So what we've chosen is to talk about some of his his gaffes, basically. A true wordsmith, actually, I think. So some of his most famous gaffes, he actually said to Malala, "Children go to school because their parents don't want them in the house." Entirely accurate and true. When Prince Andrew and Fergie presented him with plans for their new home that they were building in the 80s, he turned around to them and told them that it looked like a tart's bedroom. And I'm not sure how people are going to feel about this one, but he said to a gentleman with prosthetic legs, "You can take those things off and put wheels on, get around quicker." Now, I think for all of his faults, I think he actually, I've read a lot of articles about him recently, and they all said that a lot of these, they weren't unkind. They were to put people at ease, and they were to put a smile on people's faces, and they were to make people feel, at ease in their surroundings and meeting the royals. I think he was a bit of a legend. But actually, Alasdair and Philippa, we've invited you guys on because you were lucky enough to meet the man in person, weren't you?
Yes, we have no other qualification. We are not Jenny Bond and Nicholas Mitchell of Camberley.
He was Scottish, and he was the Duke of Edinburgh.
Well, that is true. Yeah, I was brought up in Edinburgh, so there we have a geographical connection.
Yeah.
But we did both meet him once at the same event, but we didn't know each other at this particular point in time. In fact, I wouldn't even meet Philippa for another 2 years after a garden party where we both received our Gold Duke of Edinburgh awards in Edinburgh in 1997.
And I think that's one of his biggest legacies is the Duke of Edinburgh's Awards, because I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing to start, and we both got so much from it. So it was a happy day. It's great.
It was a happy day. I was wearing my red school blazer, so I've got a photograph that I can share. I'll share it under this post. I was wearing my red school blazer along with a couple of other friends who were also wearing these bright red scarlet school blazers. And he said that we reminded him of a 1950s Buckland's musical team. So there's an example of one of those putting people at their ease kind of gaffes. Except it wasn't a gaff at all. It was just really funny. And he made us laugh and feel at ease in what was otherwise a very nerve-wracking moment. But I've actually felt more sad than I thought I would feel this week, because after his death. And I think it's because he represented such an interesting connection with the past. And hearing the stories of his childhood and being brought up on the island of Corfu, which sounds very romantic and glamorous, but only because his parents had been deposed from the Greek throne, and then finding himself as a kind of a rootless royal, then coming to Britain effectively as a political refugee. It's kind of an amazing start to life. His father abandoned them. His mother famously went mad, and he kind of represents a really interesting moment in political history, and it's a really sad loss. And you just feel it's the beginning of the end of an era. And we are kind of clinging on to anchor points at the moment because so many things seem to be changing. And there's one of our anchor points that seems to have slipped its anchor at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I felt a lot more sad about it than I actually thought I was, because he's been poorly for some months, hasn't he? We've all been going, "Oh, Prince Phil's going to cark it," but then when it actually happens, it's actually really quite devastating.
Yeah.
Really, really sad about it.
You were really sad, weren't you? And as an Irish person, I suppose I don't really have the same feelings about the royal family as you all will. But even I was feeling sad, because at the end of the day, he's a granddad and a dad and a husband, and you feel for that family, and they're feeling the same grief that we all feel in the same circumstances. And it's a commonality between us.
Do you know
all,
what? I think if you look at the Queen, rather than as being a monarch, just like a nice old lady that's lost her husband of 72 years, and now she's got to do the rest of her life without the man that made her smile the most, and the man that made her giggle like a schoolgirl. That is the sad part of it, I think.
Yeah, it's probably going to break her heart, isn't it? It does make you wonder, because she's not the youngest herself. So I can't imagine the Queen dying. I just can't. That shouldn't be allowed.
She is an amazing woman, isn't she? She's incredible, and she's done such an amazing job to taking that on for the whole of her life, basically.
Yeah.
And he'd been by her side the whole time, and I think that's amazing support.
Absolutely. So maybe, do you think that it's actually been almost a blessing that this has happened now during COVID and during lockdown? And actually the last 18 months of their lives, they've been locked in a castle together, whereas perhaps they wouldn't have actually got to spend that much time together because of official engagements and being in different residences and all that. Maybe this has been the kindest timing.
It's given them time to slow down, hasn't it? And just instead of the hectic lives that they must live all the time.
Yeah.
And it's given him the opportunity to have the funeral that he wanted, and no fuss, no frills, no flounce funeral. And that's exactly what he's going to get, unfortunately.
Have we seen that Boris Johnson's announced he's not going?
I did see that, yeah. Apparently to make extra space for a member of the royal family, is that right?
Yeah, well, it was in the rule of 30 for funerals, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely right. I think it was definitely the right thing to do. Definitely the right thing.
Yeah,
But
I wonder if it is a selfless thing though, or if he's been told we'd rather you weren't really there.
No. Let's give him the benefit.
Let's not speculate. I've got to say, I was sad when I found out about his death, but in a weird way, I was a little bit happy because my mum, she loved royal family, and I thought, she won though because she passed away in February, but what a great thing that she passed away the same year as Prince Philip. She's up there with him now, and she's happy.
I think they're down there, aren't they?
Oh well, yeah, probably. Yeah. But only because there's much more fun down there. It's a party all the time.
I wouldn't know anyone up there, would you?
No. Yeah, she'd be happy.
She'd be well happy. Prince Philip died the same year as she. That was my positive thing out of it. Trying to look at positives on everything.
Well done. Tell you what's not positive is the fact that actually we're going to have Chaz next, right? And he's actually so old, he's 70, so he's going to be 70 odd, nearly 80 when he ascends to the throne anyway. So he won't be there long. And then we're going to have King William, and Prince William's younger than I am, so I'm going to have to live, a huge chunk of my life having a king younger than me, and that doesn't feel like a normal thing. That's going to put me immediately in the realm of being an old person, isn't it?
Imagine how I feel.
Oh dear.
Anyway, I didn't want to let this segment finish without mentioning Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and just what a brilliant job she's doing actually. And she's local to us here. We're in Camberley. They live in Bagshot, Sophie and Edward. They had their children at our local hospital here. They contribute so much to our local community, and I think they have been for quite a while the unsung heroes of the royal family. And in the last sort of 36 hours, Sophie's got quite a lot of coverage in the press, and I think that we've known for a long time that her way with people is extraordinary, and she exudes this kindness and open-heartedness, and I just love her. I think that she seems like such a normal person. I think with those shots of them driving out of Windsor Castle yesterday or the day before or the weekend, whatever it was, and the window rolled down and she said, the Queen is being amazing, and that just seems so genuine.
I know everyone says all about Kate Middleton being, the first commoner to marry into the royal family, but she wasn't. Sophie, was it Rhys Jones? Was her maiden name? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. An ordinary lady.
She's lovely. Have you met them, Alasdair, on their travels around?
No, I've never met them. I often, when I go take the dog out for a walk, I look down on Bagshot Park from the top of Curly Hill, and I think it looks the most incredible place. But sadly, the invitations never arrived on my doormat, so I've never met them. But we did have. Because you were involved in this as well, both of you. We did have that really nice online meeting with Edward at the end of the Surrey Heath Prepared, the COVID response in Surrey Heath, and he was really generous with his support, really lovely, gracious, and thanking us all for the work that we've done. But I totally agree with you. Sophie seems the most extraordinary character, and apparently she was very close to Prince Philip and very close to the Queen. One of the in-laws, is she an in-law that the royal family kind of most adore? And you're right, she just seems to have kind of captured the public mood, very, very natural and down to earth, isn't she?
Yeah, seems like a lovely girl, and her daughter as well, good on front of the camera too, and she looks like a nice kid too. So nice to see people like that coming through the royal family at the moment. I think it's
kind of
those
more human now, aren't they? I think the royal family are seen as more accessible, you know, because of the younger generations and because they're not that kind of stoic, put up and shut up lot anymore. They're just more approachable.
Yeah, but I think Edward and Sophie do a lot of work quietly as well. You know, they visit charities quietly without the press around. And you know, we know that they've visited the York Road Project. They've visited the Hope Hub in Camberley. They do an awful lot behind the scenes, and I think it's really crucial work for communities, for volunteers in the communities to have that recognition from that level. And I just think they're brilliant. I think they're great.
I think Sophie has been known to frequent the Half Moon pub in Windlesham as well.
Has she? Right. I
wonder if she'll be up there this evening with a blanket over her knees.
Well, it's quite possible. It's quite possible they'll be in the beer garden at the Half Moon right now with a blanket over their knees.
That's it, like half of Guinness, barkeep.
Of course, pubs are opened. I've just realised. Of course, the pubs are open.
Yeah.
I'm too busy for that.
But this is why it's known today. It was to test the mettle of the British people to see if we would still go to the pub gardens. And I bet they're all heaving.
I bet they are.
Well, I've just come back from Heatherside Park, where I've been playing rugby with the kids, and I can tell you that the garden of the Wheat Sheaf on Heatherside is absolutely packed. Every table is full.
Good.
We're not weak, are we, us Brits? We're, you know, and you lot.
And you know what? Best of luck to the pubs and good luck to them opening, because you know it's been a long wait for them, a long hard slog. And you know, we've said it before on this program. Please do support your local businesses. They really, really need us right now.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Right, listen, Pinkertons, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, a joy as always.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's always a pleasure, never a chore. And it's nice to know that we know people that have met, you know, Duke of Edinburgh.
Yes. I feel proud myself now.
Do a bit more now.
Hopefully next time we'll see you in real life again. That'd be
Oh, that would be lovely. I can't wait.
Yes, we'll all
Getting close.
a small dry sherry in a garden at some point very soon.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? And we'll raise a glass to His Royal Highness Prince.
We will indeed.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely to talk to you.
Okay.
Thanks so much. See you soon.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank you. Goodbye.
It's always nice to have guests on, isn't it?
Such a cute couple.
Oh yeah. Well, it's lovely that we've had Philippa on, because you know, she actually, I kind of joked about it, but she is an incredibly supportive wife. She's so wonderful. She's got her own career. She looks after the family. Well, they both rear the family, but you know, I just think that she's brilliant, isn't she?
It is true that, you know, but behind the hardest working people you see, there's always a really truly supportive and hardworking partner who contributes just as much, if not more, to enable that person to be able to, you know, do what they do. And Philippa's one of those people.
She
that,
definitely
you know, behind the scenes needs to do.
Yeah.
Another person, a hugely community spirited woman. You know, she gives an awful lot of herself to other people for no reward, and a good egg is what we would say.
A good egg. Yeah.
Oh, we like
We
her.
say that here too.
Right. So, Molly, should we talk about your art?
Yeah.
So, let's see if it's not been great today, is it? I know you lost us briefly.
Yeah. But then you came back again, so it's all good.
What did we lose?
Sorry.
We lost Lisa and Kel for a second. Did you not notice?
Did I nod off?
You filled in beautifully for us while we were missing, so that's good.
Yeah.
Literally, no, are you serious? Are you having me on?
All right, so this week sees the beginning of Ramadan. I can't believe it's been a whole year since it was here last, and I'm sure actually some of my friends will be glad that it's at this time of year, because they can eat a little bit earlier in the evening. I know a few years back it was falling in the middle of summer, and that's just really tough. So that's not too bad. So I was really pleased to see this article. So this is Morrison's, and actually they did this last year for the first time, and I hadn't read about it, probably because it was the beginning of lockdown and there was a lot of crazy going on. But so what they did last year was they basically put a box together of everything you could want to make a meal to break fast at the end of each day during the month of Ramadan. And this would be halal meat, it would be juices, it would be spices, there'd be chickpeas, absolutely everything you need in one box and sell it as a whole. Because obviously when we were going to the shops then, we didn't want to be walking around an awful lot, and fantastic way to pick up a box and that's your entire meal, and you can feed your whole family with it. It obviously went down really well because they brought it back this year, even though the supermarkets are now open and you don't generally have to queue too much to get in. I think it's a really nice way of not spending too much time in the supermarket, getting everything you want. There's a few extra bits in there as well, like some dates and some fruit juice and stuff. I know. And they do a delivery service, which I always forget about Morrison's, because they're not really up there on their home delivery, but they do offer that service as well. I know.
You know what? It's lovely to see something that is celebrating a different festival. You know, we walked into, you know, Sainsbury's a couple of weeks ago and it was full of Easter eggs, and you come up to Christmas and it's all, you know, the Easter trimmings, but to actually be celebrating, you know, an event for another religion, I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. And I hope that they are putting it front and center of their stores. I really hope they're doing that. I think it's incredible.
And the other supermarkets will join in, because I think it's a fantastic idea. I mean, I don't know. I mean, fasting is so hard, like, but they proper fasting means like not even drinking water. Like you don't drink or eat all day. So I think actually for them to come to the supermarket and have it all there, and when you're really tired and exhausted, just pick it up. Yeah, great.
Yeah, and because it's for a month, isn't it? So if you could do it for a week, then you'd buy your food shop and it would survive you the week or whatever. And a lot of these families are multi-generational in one house as well. So you're feeding potentially a lot of people. And I think they really like to break fast kind of with that community sense, don't you? Kind of your neighbours come in and, you know, maybe not so much at the moment, but if you've got a bubble, then I'm sure they're going to be there. And I know a couple of my friends have got parents and grandparents and little ones all in one house. That's a lot of food. You can't buy that all at one time for a whole month, can you? So
It's actually interesting to get feedback from the Muslim community to find out about how they feel about it. They're really interesting to see how they see it. Yeah.
I was speaking to some of my Muslim friends about it and see if they think, you know, that is a useful thing that they would consider, because, you know, I can imagine that there's an awful lot of preparation that goes into breaking the fast in the evenings, and you know, a lot of people are really hard during the day, and like you said, you know, multi-generations living in one home, it's not always, you know, easy for the older generations to get out and to look after everything and make sure that there's, you know, going to be a nice spread on at the end of the day. So I think this is really good, and I hope all the supermarkets pick up on it. I hope that it's, you know, something that really takes off. Yeah,
I hope so too. Listen, I don't think we can talk about this without mentioning our friend Innie, who, and you were saying about it, it's really good that Ramadan was a bit earlier in the year. And last year it was in the middle of summertime, so they had very little after dark hours. And our friend was raising money for our local hospital, where his father had been treated and sadly had passed away. And he was raising some money to buy some wheelchairs for our local hospital. But to do it, he was walking. What was his challenge?
He walked 60,000 steps every single day, but he far exceeded that. He was walking miles and miles and miles in the scorching hot sunshine during that all the way through drink and to quench his thirst. Is it £6,000?
£4,000, but
he raised a
great
lot
amount of money.
Yeah, and he bought some wheelchairs for the local hospital. But to achieve something like that in the height of summer during Ramadan, I think that just gave it, you know,
Incredible.
You know, an extra credit for him for being able to achieve that, because that wouldn't have been easy at the best of times, but during Ramadan must have been absolutely great.
Yeah. Wow.
Is it just
incredible?
Or do we transform this?
Around our locality, and you know, everybody knew who he was, and you know, it was just lovely, just so nice.
That walking block.
No.
Yeah.
So many friends.
That's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
It is a lot, isn't it? You know, we all know, looking at our Fitbits on a daily basis, going, oh no, we need 10,000, yeah. But to be trying to do, you know, 60,000 in a day, it's
he did incredibly well. His whole family were so proud of him, and so are we as a community. Yeah, absolutely.
Did really well, a community hero.
Yes, he did. He did.
Fantastic.
Anyway, enough about our Dimmy.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Jana's.
Oh, is it my turn already? I love this. I love this article. Can you hear us okay? Because I can hear some echo. There's something. Can you hear us? Okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you absolutely fine
Yeah,
without any
I
echoes.
think it's the other way, so you're all good.
Okay. Cool. Just wait for you to bring it up. But yeah, I come across this article and it's so lovely. It's not local because this is an Indian trans woman who just does such a fantastic thing. Herself, when she was only very little, 5 years old, she was abandoned by her family, which obviously is a really sad thing. But she was actually taken in by another trans woman and looked after. And she knew then, when she was very young, that she will want to do something for the kids that are without families, and that's exactly what she's doing. She's got, I believe, 7 girls that she's looking after, and a boy, and just trying to give them the life that she missed out on. And it's just such a wonderful thing to do. And I know she wants to do it on a bigger scale when possible, and have one of those big orphanage places where she can help a lot more kids. I think there's quite a lot of kids in India that would benefit from that. So what a fantastic thing to do, and just another selfless person all the way in India. It's wonderful. I just thought it was really heartwarming.
Yeah, it's lovely when people are able to draw upon past experiences and turn that around and turn it into a positive and use it to push themselves through other people, isn't it?
It's not an easy thing to do, to do that when you've experienced something so awful. And I can't even imagine, being abandoned by your family and going through a transition, and surely that would have had so much effect on your life and whatever. But you're just a fighter and you keep going, and you've got one thing in your mind, that you're going to help some kids, and that's exactly what she's doing. I admire that. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's often the people who've experienced adversity that are so passionate about giving to the community and ensuring that things are better for the next generation. And I see that an awful lot of the time, and this is another example of that. Yeah, brilliant positive news for a community.
One of those feel-good stories, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
And she's beautiful. She's in the picture there. Manisha, her name is Manisha. Beautiful.
And get that picture in.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely stunning.
nice, we talk so often, don't we, about how having some kind of parental figures at home and having a stable family, kind of lead to, better outcomes in life. But it's not always the case, like you say, some people that have adversity actually really can thrive. They've got something in them that then leads them to do incredible things. And obviously, very selfless woman, just incredible.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
To overcome adversity, I think,
Yeah.
and to put it gives you the ability to be able to put yourself in the shoes of other people experiencing tough times.
Yeah.
So many people that are unable to do that for whatever reason. It's not always their own fault if they've had a very, charmed life. Not many people have had such a charmed life that they can't. But I think people that have experienced extreme adversity, like Manisha obviously has, and it's obviously spurred her on to make a change in the world. To make
turn it into a
others,
positive thing, and that's actually all we can ask for, isn't it, as human beings, to try and take our negatives and turn them into positives.
Yeah.
It's nice to see more stories like that in the press coming out.
Yeah.
So girls don't really struggle to find any positive news at all.
Yeah.
We're going through everything. We're going, this is just a whole bunch of hate and murder and depression.
Exactly.
And
The news thrives on it, doesn't it? Because there is stuff out there most weeks if you dig for it, but it's never front page. And I think that really does affect people's moods and that as well. And people go, oh, well, there hasn't been any good news this week. And in the entire world, there's been no good news. I don't believe it. There must always be good stories. Yeah.
It's not. The only happy things that ever sell papers is, when there's a royal getting married or celebrity tidbits and titillation.
Yeah.
But that's why I love local news, because I think in local news you get a whole different sort of dimension to life, don't you? You know, you see what people are doing on the ground in their communities.
Yeah.
You know, I'm big on helping your local community and getting stuck in and getting involved, and you know,
happy stuff,
and that's
isn't it?
exactly what Manisha's done there.
Yeah.
She's
I don't know,
taken her idea and run with it.
Do you still get your happy newspaper money?
Yeah, the good. Yeah, is it the good newspaper, the happy news? Yeah, it's a real pick me up. It's full of. I mean, over lockdown, obviously, there's been a lot of kind of, you know, how to deal with mental health and how to do this, which can always be a bit draining as well, even though it's a positive kind of trying to get you to do something and look at things. But it's just starting now to be, yeah, just some real feel good, happy stuff.
God, about bloody time.
I know, happyful. That's what it's called.
Yeah. We, as you know, I mean, we run one of the local community pages. Everything, all the time, it's, you know, all this rubbish, or that, you know, there's a big queue for this, or there's, you know, there's an issue to talk about. And just recently, there was a lady that came along and she had crocheted one of the scenes to put on top of one of the post boxes. Have you seen this?
Oh yes, yes.
Made like an Easter scene and popped it on top of the post box, and it got so much love on Facebook. People were just absolutely delighted to see this small slice of happiness.
Yeah.
You know, it's pointless other than the fact that it's made people smile and made people
Yeah.
happy, and that's the news I want to see. I
Yeah.
don't want to see about the, you know,
It's the joy of human spirit, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? And-
Just the
and
average
our-
person.
to actually help other people and bring a bit of
it's
to
one
other people. I
another
think
and
it's
make
great.
people smile.
Yeah.
Aww. Well, I'm sure I'm going to make you smile with my word of the week.
Word of the week. Word of the week.
Oh, I'm dying to know what it is.
Hey, I hope you're going to like it, because I love it. I absolutely love it. And if you don't like it, you're not my friends. Right, ta-da! Ready? Here we go.
Let's have a look. Makushla.
Makushla.
Ah,
Oh, do you know it? Do you?
I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Do it in context.
Well, it just means my love, Makushla.
I never heard it. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's a lovely word. It's a lovely word. And there's a song. I'll have to send the link to you
Oh, yeah.
later called Makushla, an Irish song. And well, it's written in English, but yeah, it's about this man's Makushla.
Give us a line.
No, I'm not saying it.
Please do.
Yes, it's a great word, darlings. Makushlas.
Oh,
Dillies.
yeah.
Yeah.
But did you know it, Kel? Does Lisa use that word?
No, she's never ever called me a Makushla or even told me the word Makushla exists.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, this is why you got me. I'll teach you these things. They're very important things, and I'm here to teach you. So.
My Slovakian friend is teaching me Irish. So I can communicate with my Irish wife.
You're very welcome.
How it should be.
Makushla.
Isn't
That's
it nice?
It's mellifluous.
Mellifluous. That's like the Irish language, though.
Well, it's Makushla, mellifluous, melodic.
Yeah.
Makushla. Irish English means darling.
And it's actually spelt kind of, as you say, isn't it? Makushla.
Makushla. Well
Makushla.
done.
Yeah.
Makushla. Sorry, are we still live?
Away with yourselves there.
Makushla.
My darling. Yeah.
Oh,
A bit of
I thought it was-
Irish in there. Yeah.
I thought it was
Are
cute.
you ready?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Lisa, I can already see it. Oh, this is a good one, isn't it? Oh, do we need to sing it? What?
So this week's coach of the week is Pauline from Walton on Thames. Pauline is nominated by her friends in the pub she works in, the Black Swan, and she's particularly good at darts and not much else. But she's very friendly and she's very popular with the locals. And this is Pauline.
Look at her friendly face. Look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? I actually want to just get her to my big kiss.
I'm sorry, I can't hold it any longer.
You're all right, Jana.
Isn't she lovely? No, put Pauline back
She
in
looks
again.
very friendly.
Oh, where'd you go?
Her ear.
I'm wondering, was one of her parents a rabbit?
Yeah, a lock-haired.
I told you you
Lock
were going to
eared.
love this week's Go.
I love Pauline.
Pauline's
I want her in the
lovely.
dark.
She's my favourite.
Nominated her. She's your
My ear.
I'm sorry.
She said to me, "What's your favourite?"
No, I like this one. This one's good. This one's good, and there's definitely a bit of a rabbit in there.
She
So-
looks like she's about to stick her tongue out as well.
Let me see again. Oh,
We'll see her again.
oh, oh my!
Oh, she's adorable.
She's a stylish bird. Like, look at the way she's got her hair and everything. Like, it's no wonder she goes down well with the punters.
Oof. Oh, thank you for the laughs. That was much needed. She's adorable, and she's got very, very much her ears out like
Like a rabbit.
floppy, very floppy
Yeah.
rabbit ears. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Kel. It's almost better than my word of the week. Well done.
No, it's not. Your work is much better than. Well,
Between Makushla and Pauline, we've done very well.
we have.
Yeah.
We've entertained guests this evening. We've talked about positive news. Actually, everything we've talked about today has been positive. I know the Duke of Edinburgh passed away, but we reflected on the positive change he made in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's been a very positive episode of News on the News. This is our 20th episode today, guys.
20.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
What is it?
Cheers.
Makushla. I don't know. It's empty.
Sluncher.
Sloncha.
Oh, not Makushla.
Nazdravia.
Sloncha Makushla.
Right, should we have a little message from a friend?
Who do we want to hear from today, girls?
What are
Oh.
our options?
Want to hear from our funny friend or our sensitive friend?
Funny
Funny
friend.
friend. Yeah.
Funny friend. Here's our funny friend.
I'm Zoe Lyons. Sometimes it's easier just to text. Text TALK to 88440. You're not alone.
And congratulations to Zoe Lyons. She completed a half marathon at the
Oh,
weekend.
she did.
She's a goer, isn't she?
She certainly is. Yeah, she certainly is.
we
A sneak peek at her. Well, not a sneak peek. We got to see her tattoos. I didn't know that she had tattoos. She's got some really nice.
We watched her at the gig last Monday, I think, was it?
Yeah. Some new material for a show
For a show, yeah, which we can't name because it's a bit rude.
before the watershed. So, but yeah, no, it was fabulous. She had a really nice backdrop of Brighton Pier, just in case we didn't know that
She was funny.
she's down there. Yeah, it was
good.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's funny.
I think she's in good company in that show, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Who else was there?
Well, Jem Brister didn't make it.
Oh, she was sick. Jana was devastated.
I was gutted.
I
I was
know.
gutted.
She's your
I
favourite.
know, I was really gutted. Maureen Young was there, and
Alison.
was the
Don't get me
Indian,
on.
the Asian lady. She's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Not
No.
Susan.
I don't know. There was quite a lot. I think there was about 6 women in the end doing new material. So yeah, it was fabulous.
It was good.
Once a month, I think now. So yeah.
Yeah, just
Of course we will. Like it. Right then, that's us.
Ladies,
That's a wrap.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's been a good episode. I've
Been
enjoyed
good.
it. You enjoyed
It's
it?
been good.
no, I didn't like it, but you know, what can I do? I just got to get through it.
Other people.
There's always one who has to have a moan.
Think, does it?
Right.
Oh,
Okay. Right. We'll reconvene next week. Then.
yeah.
Shall.
And just FYI, I had to work out what FYI is is I like every episode we do, but this one was a good one. But I do like every time we see you. It's good.
Oh,
So true. It's not everyone's good.
it's a good old show.
Yes.
Mm. Okay. Right.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good week.
Bye bye. Good night, everybody. Ciao, ciao. Makushla.